Are you over 60 and feeling unusually tired, forgetful, or even a bit slower than you used to be, even though you eat well and exercise? What if I told you that one simple nutrient, often overlooked, could be quietly sabotaging your energy, your brain, and even your metabolism, and that restoring it could dramatically change how you feel every day? Here's what's really going on inside your body. Vitamin B12 is not just another vitamin. It's a key player in how your cells make energy, how your nerves communicate, how your DNA repairs itself, and even how your red blood cells are produced. Think of it like the spark plug in an engine. Without it, everything slows down, misfires, or becomes inefficient. What the research shows is that as we age, even healthy adults start to lose the ability to absorb B12 efficiently. This is not always because we aren't eating enough meat, eggs, or dairy. It's because the stomach acid and digestive proteins needed to release B12 from food decline naturally with age. In other words, many seniors can eat B12-rich foods daily and still become deficient. This deficiency doesn't just make you tired. Over time, it can affect your balance, your memory, your mood, and even your long-term heart and metabolic health. Now, here's the exciting part. Unlike some age-related changes, B12 deficiency is almost entirely reversible, naturally, safely, and often without expensive medications. By understanding the root causes, not just masking the fatigue with coffee or supplements that don't work, you can restore your energy, protect your nerves, and give your brain the fuel it needs to stay sharp. Today, we're going to break this down into practical, science-backed steps. I'll explain how B12 is absorbed, why it declines with age, and the surprising free or low-cost foods and strategies that bypass these absorption hurdles. You'll also learn about timing, natural boosters, and lifestyle tweaks that make your body more efficient at using this essential nutrient. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear, actionable roadmap: what to eat, how to supplement wisely, and how to optimize your body's B12 status naturally. These are tools that don't just patch symptoms. They address the root cause of low energy, brain fog, and metabolic slowdown in seniors. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help people over 50 feel energized, focused, and youthful again. Let's start with a surprising fact. Many seniors eat plenty of meat, eggs, and dairy, all rich in vitamin B12, yet still develop a deficiency. How can that be? The answer lies not in how much B12 you eat, but in how your body absorbs it. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Think of your stomach as a kitchen and B12 as a tightly wrapped package. In young adults, stomach acid and digestive proteins act like scissors, carefully unwrapping the package so your small intestine can absorb the vitamin. As we age, stomach acid naturally declines, and these scissors become blunt. The result? Even if your diet is B12 rich, much of it passes through unabsorbed. This is called food-bound B12 malabsorption, and research shows that up to 30% of adults over 60 experience it. Another critical player is a protein called intrinsic factor, produced by specialized cells in the stomach lining. Intrinsic factor acts like a delivery truck, carrying the unwrapped B12 to the small intestine for absorption. With age, these cells may become less efficient, further limiting how much B12 actually reaches your bloodstream. So even if you're eating well, the body simply can't pick up the packages effectively. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine trying to water your garden with a hose that has multiple leaks. You can turn the faucet on full blast, but only a fraction of the water actually reaches the plants. That's your body with B12. No matter how much you eat, only a portion gets used if absorption is impaired. Now, what can we do about it? First, understand that there are forms of B12 that bypass the need for stomach acid and intrinsic factor. This is the crystalline form found in fortified foods, nutritional yeast, or supplements. Taking B12 in this free form ensures that it's absorbed directly into the bloodstream. For most seniors, even a 500-1000 mcg sublingual tablet or lozenge a few times per week can normalize levels over time. Second, timing matters. Taking B12 on an empty stomach can improve absorption, especially when combined with a small amount of folate or riboflavin. These cofactors help your body use B12 more efficiently at the cellular level. Third, check medications that might interfere. Proton pump inhibitors, antacids, and metformin are commonly used in seniors and can reduce B12 absorption. If you're taking these, B12 supplementation becomes even more crucial. Finally, keep it practical. Adding fortified plant-based milks, nutritional yeast sprinkled on meals, or a morning B12 lozenge are simple, low-cost ways to start restoring levels. These interventions work with your body, not against it. If this section is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day, showing how small, science-backed adjustments can dramatically improve energy, focus, and metabolism after 60. One of the most challenging things about vitamin B12 deficiency is that it doesn't always scream at you. There's rarely a sudden alert. Instead, the signs creep in slowly, often mistaken for normal aging. But here's the truth. Fatigue, brain fog, memory slips, or tingling in your hands and feet are your body's way of waving a red flag. Ignoring these signals means missing an opportunity to protect your energy, nerves, and cognition before serious damage sets in. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your car's check engine light. Sometimes it flickers before a breakdown, and you might ignore it, thinking the car is fine. B12 deficiency works the same way. Your body may still be functioning, but under the surface, energy production is slipping, nerves are slowing, and your brain is running on low fuel. Over time, the flicker can turn into a more serious problem like neuropathy, cognitive decline, or anemia. So what should you look for? The early signs are often subtle. Feeling unusually tired despite sleeping well, mild memory lapses or difficulty concentrating, tingling, numbness, or a pins and needles sensation in hands or feet. Mood changes such as irritability or mild depression, pale or slightly yellowed skin. These symptoms can be easy to dismiss, but here's the key. Your body is giving you clues before permanent damage occurs. Acting early can restore energy and protect your nervous system. Here's a practical approach. Start a simple daily log for 1 to 2 weeks. Track your energy levels, mood, mental clarity, and any tingling or numbness. This becomes your baseline. Then, implement dietary or supplementation strategies to support B12, which we'll cover in the next sections, and observe changes. Even small improvements in energy or mental sharpness are strong indicators that your B12 status is improving. Another point to consider is that B12 interacts closely with other nutrients. Folate, vitamin B6, and riboflavin are cofactors in the metabolic pathways that allow your body to use B12 efficiently. Deficiency in any of these can amplify the symptoms of B12 deficiency, so focusing on a balanced approach is essential. Finally, don't wait for severe fatigue or noticeable neuropathy to take action. Early recognition allows you to reverse deficiency naturally, avoid medications, and maintain long-term cognitive and metabolic health. Prevention is far more effective than trying to repair damage after it occurs. By being attentive to subtle changes and acting proactively, you can restore energy, protect your nerves, and maintain mental clarity, all without waiting for a dramatic crisis to force the change. Most people assume that a simple blood test is enough to know if their B12 is adequate. But here's the reality. Standard serum B12 tests can be misleading. You might see a normal number on your report and still be functionally deficient. That's because these tests measure total B12 in your blood, not how effectively your cells are using it. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your house has a water tank that's full, but the pipes delivering water to your faucets are partially blocked. The tank shows plenty of water, but when you turn on the tap, only a trickle comes out. That's what can happen with B12. The blood shows a sufficient level, but your nerves, brain, and energy systems aren't getting enough. To understand true B12 status, functional markers like methylmalonic acid, MMA, and homocysteine are far more telling. These compounds build up when your cells don't have enough active B12 to perform essential reactions. High levels indicate that your body is struggling to use the B12 you have, even if your serum B12 reads normal. So what's the practical takeaway? First, don't rely solely on a standard B12 blood test. Ask your healthcare provider about functional markers, especially if you experience fatigue, memory lapses, or tingling sensations. Knowing the functional status of B12 allows you to target your interventions more effectively and monitor improvement over time. Second, once you identify a deficiency, start with strategies that bypass absorption limitations. This includes crystalline B12 in supplements or fortified foods. For many seniors, even a daily sublingual or chewable tablet of 500-1000 mcg is sufficient to normalize functional markers within weeks. Tracking symptom improvement alongside lab markers gives you real feedback on whether your intervention is working. Third, consider cofactors that support B12 metabolism. Folate, vitamin B6, and riboflavin act as supporting enzymes that help your cells convert B12 into forms your body can use. Without these cofactors, supplementation alone may be less effective. Incorporating leafy greens, legumes, and whole foods rich in these nutrients ensures a complete metabolic approach. Finally, don't forget lifestyle factors. Chronic stress, gut inflammation, and poor sleep can increase your body's B12 requirements or impair utilization. Addressing these alongside supplementation ensures that B12 reaches your cells and performs its full metabolic role. Here's the bottom line. Understanding your true B12 status transforms how you approach deficiency. It shifts the focus from guessing and supplementing blindly to a targeted, science-backed strategy that restores energy, cognition, and nerve health effectively. Now that we understand absorption issues and how to measure true B12 status, let's talk about the most empowering part: how to restore it naturally, safely, and often without expensive medications. The good news is that there are multiple strategies seniors can implement immediately to reverse deficiency and support long-term health. First, focus on crystalline B12, which bypasses the digestive bottleneck that often limits absorption in older adults. Unlike B12 bound in food proteins, crystalline B12 is free and ready for absorption, even if stomach acid or intrinsic factor is low. This form is found in supplements, fortified foods, and nutritional yeast. A simple daily or a few times per week regimen is often enough to normalize levels over time. Second, incorporate B12 fortified foods strategically into your meals. Many plant-based milks, breakfast cereals, and meat substitutes are fortified with B12, providing a reliable, low-cost source. Nutritional yeast is another excellent option. Just a tablespoon sprinkled over a salad or stirred into soup delivers a meaningful dose without any fuss. The key is consistency and pairing these foods with cofactors like folate and riboflavin, which help your body convert B12 into active forms for energy and nerve health. Third, consider food timing and meal context. Taking B12 on an empty stomach can improve absorption, particularly in the morning. For those who experience mild digestive discomfort, pairing B12-rich foods with a small amount of protein or a balanced breakfast can support gradual uptake while keeping blood sugar stable. Fourth, leverage synergistic nutrients. Folate, vitamin B6, and riboflavin are essential partners in the metabolic pathways that activate and utilize B12. Leafy greens, legumes, eggs, and dairy provide these naturally, enhancing the effectiveness of your B12 intake. Think of B12 as a key. These cofactors are the lock, turning the key to unlock energy, nerve function, and DNA repair. Without them, even the right amount of B12 may not fully reach your cells. Fifth, don't overlook lifestyle factors that support B12 utilization. Adequate sleep, regular physical activity, and gut-friendly habits, like fermented foods or probiotics, enhance nutrient absorption and cellular function. Stress reduction is also important. High cortisol levels can increase nutrient turnover and impair the effectiveness of B12 in your metabolism. Finally, practical habit tips. Sprinkle nutritional yeast on eggs or salads, drink a fortified plant milk daily, take a crystalline B12 lozenge in the morning, and make sure your meals include folate-rich vegetables. These small, free, or low-cost adjustments can produce dramatic improvements in energy, mood, and focus, often within weeks. By combining dietary sources, strategic supplementation, and lifestyle support, seniors can naturally reverse B12 deficiency, bypass absorption hurdles, and reclaim energy and mental clarity, all without relying solely on prescriptions. By now, you understand absorption, symptoms, testing, and natural sources of B12. But restoring B12 isn't just about eating the right foods or taking a supplement, it's also about creating the right internal environment so your body can use it efficiently. Think of it like planting seeds. You can have the healthiest seeds, but if the soil, water, and sunlight aren't optimal, growth will be limited. Here's what's really going on inside your body. B12 works in tandem with your nervous system, metabolism, and hormonal signals. Chronic stress, poor sleep, gut inflammation, or metabolic imbalances can all increase B12 demand or limit its utilization. For example, elevated cortisol from stress accelerates nutrient turnover, while gut inflammation or dysbiosis can interfere with absorption and cofactor availability. Addressing these factors ensures that the B12 you consume actually reaches the cells that need it. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your body is a factory. B12 is a critical raw material for production lines like energy metabolism and nerve maintenance. Even if you deliver plenty of B12 to the factory through supplements or fortified foods, if the workers are exhausted, the machines aren't maintained, or the conveyor belts are blocked, production slows. Lifestyle habits are the machinery that allows B12 to work effectively. So what can seniors do to optimize this factory? First, prioritize quality sleep. Deep, restorative sleep supports nerve repair, energy metabolism, and hormone balance, all of which influence how efficiently your body uses B12. Aim for consistent sleep schedules and 7 to 9 hours per night. Second, support gut health. Regular fiber, fermented foods, and hydration help maintain a healthy microbiome and digestive function. This is critical because B12 absorption depends on a healthy small intestine and overall digestive efficiency. Avoiding chronic antibiotics or excessive alcohol can further protect this delicate system. Third, manage stress and maintain hormonal balance. Practices like gentle exercise, meditation, or even short daily walks can lower cortisol, support metabolic health, and improve nutrient utilization. Stress management isn't just nice to have, it directly impacts how well your body uses B12 and other essential vitamins. Fourth, move regularly but smartly. Physical activity supports circulation, cellular energy metabolism, and nerve health, all areas where B12 plays a role. Even moderate walking, resistance exercises, or yoga can enhance B12 utilization by improving cellular demand and function. Finally, combine these lifestyle strategies with the B12 protocols we discussed earlier. Consistent intake of crystalline B12, fortified foods, and cofactors like folate, riboflavin, and B6. Together, diet and lifestyle create a synergistic effect that restores energy, sharpens cognition, and protects your nervous system for the long term. The takeaway is simple. Fixing B12 deficiency is not just about supplements. It's about optimizing the internal environment so your body can fully use what you provide. When absorption, cofactors, sleep, stress, and movement align, you unlock the full power of B12, and the benefits are profound. More energy, clearer thinking, and a stronger metabolism. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help seniors reclaim energy, focus, and vitality naturally. Let's recap what we've learned today. Vitamin B12 is far more than just another nutrient. It's a cornerstone of energy, brain health, nerve function, and metabolism. For seniors, maintaining optimal B12 levels isn't just about preventing anemia. It's about protecting your mental clarity, supporting your metabolism, and preserving your vitality as you age. Here's the truth. B12 deficiency often develops silently. Many older adults eat well and yet absorb less B12 because of age-related changes in stomach acid, intrinsic factor, or gut health. Symptoms are subtle: fatigue, brain fog, tingling, or mild mood changes, and too often dismissed as normal aging. But by recognizing the signs early and taking targeted action, you can reverse deficiency naturally and restore your energy and focus. we explored 5 key areas that make this possible. First, the root problem for many seniors isn't intake, it's absorption. Using crystalline B12 in supplements or fortified foods bypasses digestive limitations and ensures your body gets what it needs. Second, recognizing subtle symptoms allows you to act before serious nerve or cognitive damage occurs. Third, functional testing gives a more accurate picture of B12 status than standard blood tests, helping you target interventions effectively. Fourth, natural and free sources, fortified foods, nutritional yeast, and strategic supplementation can reverse deficiency safely and sustainably. And fifth, your lifestyle and hormonal context, sleep, stress, gut health, and movement profoundly influence how effectively your body uses B12. Put simply, fixing B12 deficiency is about addressing the root causes, not just the symptoms. It's a combination of targeted intake, smart dietary choices, and lifestyle optimization that creates an environment where B12 can perform its full role in your metabolism, nerves, and brain. Here's your challenge. Try just one change today. Add a fortified food, take a B12 lozenge in the morning, or focus on getting a full night of restorative sleep. Track how your body responds over the next week. Your energy, clarity, and mood are powerful indicators of improvement. Small, consistent steps build a foundation for long-term health, vitality, and cognitive resilience. Remember, reversing B12 deficiency naturally isn't a quick fix. It's a sustainable approach to feeling stronger, thinking clearer, and living more fully. Every step you take to restore B12 levels is a step toward better metabolism, sharper focus, and healthier aging. If this added value to your health journey, like the video and subscribe to join others who are optimizing their energy, brain function, and vitality naturally. Start today, your body will thank you tomorrow. Key takeaways: focus on root causes, subtle symptoms, functional testing, natural sources, and lifestyle optimization. Even one small action today can start restoring energy, cognition, and longevity.